I caught Delson Armstrong's talk on dependent origination yesterday, and it's interesting engaging again on with kind of classic Buddhist concepts. I don't know if it's right to call them concepts, but in any case, I haven't engaged with the labels of dependent origination, etc., for a while. Back a couple of years ago, I was very immersed in classical Buddhism, especially as it comes through TWIM, Tranquil Wisdom Insight Meditation. And that kind of meditation was really bore a lot of fruit for me. At least I think it did. In any case, it's very effective in a lot of ways. And that tradition is very steeped in the early suttas. And since then, since things have progressed and there have been breakthroughs, I've felt very ambivalent about Buddhism, classical Buddhism, suttas, this and that. I don't care about traditions. That's a bold statement maybe, but I care and I don't care. The reason why I say don't care in kind of that sort of tone is that it can be very misleading to attach to a tradition. Very misleading. I felt like I was misled in a lot of ways. I was led well in a lot of ways as well, but I feel like I was definitely misled in a lot of ways as well. Just certain things, certain emphases, like say Sila, right? Buddhist morality. It's all well and good to be moral. You should be moral, but it's worse, not worse, but I mean the bigger threat, the more pernicious threat is guilt. It's the things that people project on you, expectations from you, expectations in the sense that they want you to be a certain way. And then when you're not that way, they call it immorality. And then, since we're all in this soup together, maybe you internalize that. And you're constantly feel like you're falling short. And this mess, this mess, sometimes people call it morality. And that is more pernicious. I'd rather just not talk about morality at all. Give to Caesar what's Caesar's. Do well by others, but don't overthink it. That's an example of how I feel like I was misled by classical religion and Buddhism itself as well. And some teachers, they're not perceptive enough to see that. And it could happen in an instant, being misled. Just doubting yourself and going away from clarity as opposed to further clarity. So this is part one. this is how I feel like I was misled by classical Buddhism. What I wanted to speak about is dependent origination and how it's really after the breakthroughs that it could actually be understood. And those concepts, those labels can be used to clarify realization. And that was kind of an aha moment for me during Delson's talk yesterday. When I first learned about dependent origination, I really wanted to understand it, but there was no way I could understand it. It's very conceptual. I don't feel that way now. For example, one link is contact, with contact as condition. Contact on the 5 to 6 sense basis. And then further down the line, there are stories that emerge about what was contacted. And this all happens very quickly in small loops and in macro loops. There's stories that's one link. And another link is the habituated responses, the responses that emerge out of habit. And I could see these now. I see how it's possible to get caught up in them. How that is samsara, the getting caught up in that, these links, this cascade is samsara. And none of these links, this cascade, none of it's a problem. But it's a problem. The getting caught up in it is a problem. The forgetfulness is a problem. That's the pushing and pulling of suffering. I'm looking forward to putting on those glasses of dependent origination and seeing how this can refine into further clarity.